Alright guys, sorry about being late to the live weather update here, but we do have severe weather here coming into Sunday and also tomorrow. But before we jump into this live weather update, just wanted to give a big shout out to one of our newest sponsors, 76 Fence Premium Fence installs across the northwest suburbs of Chicago. So if you do need a fence or across that area, if you live in a farmhouse or any type of property you need fence and professionals to install fence or any type of custom fencing, make sure to contact him. His number information is also on both pages as a new sponsor. You can also sign up as a sponsor on the page if you have a business by reaching out. But I just want to give a shout out to him to becoming a new sponsor on the page, so I appreciate it. But let's go ahead and jump into details here for Sunday. So this is Sunday's severe weather risk outlook area from the SPC. You have this huge area here of 30% hatch here, which is probably going to include the chances of seeing strong tornadoes, to possibly long track violent tornadoes based on storm mode. If there is some isolated supercells out at the head of the line, so there's going to be the main front that comes through, and ahead of that front there could be some isolated supercells that develop out ahead of that, which could be across southern Illinois or southwest and southern Indiana. So we are watching the potential for, isolated supercells to develop, because that is like the main storm mode is where you get those isolated supercells, and those supercells are the ones that develop those strong, violent, long track tornadoes, very large help to baseballs, and even damaging winds of downbursts or RFD within the storm itself, producing nasty wind gusts up to 75 or 80 miles an hour. But even the Chicagoland area is actually in that south suburbs of the significant hatch box, but I do expect this to spread a little bit more northwest here. So Chicagoland area is still either way going to see some thunderstorms on Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening, even into the overnight hours. I think Indiana's going to get rocked as well. All of central and southern Indiana, I think, needs to be watching, concerned for possible chances of strong tornadoes on Sunday afternoon into evening across these areas, just because based on the dynamics across the area is very supportive of strong tornadoes based on storm mode. Now, if the storm mode is very messy and let's say a bust happens, I'll let you guys know on the day of, but right now the dynamics are going to be 60 dew points across the open warm sector, 300 plus 0 to 3 kilometer helicity, 0 to 3 km Cape is going to be pretty high across the area. Sunny skies in the morning will lead to more instability in the afternoon and evening, which models could be underdoing instability, and it overperforms on the day of. There's so many things that go into play. There could be leftover outflow boundaries from the previous night. There could be a meso-low that enhances your southerly southeasterly surface wind flow on the storm itself. So there's so many things going into play, but Sunday's definitely given the signals of significant severe weather, even a possible outbreak is likely if the storm mode is correct. And then we also have tomorrow's severe weather outlook as well. We had the severe weather tomorrow across portions of Iowa into eastern Kansas and Missouri. To be honest, there's going to be a low here, so don't be surprised they do extend this way back like this. But I think there's definitely be the tornado risk there across southeast extreme Nebraska into southwest extreme Iowa tomorrow late evening into overnight hours. There could be 1 or 2 supercells on a low pressure system where those moisture tongue just makes it in time to evening to break the cap up there. Instability increases as well. Last second, I think we could squeeze out a couple of supercells. So I might be driving westbound here along I-80 tonight into the overnight hours and targeting southeast Nebraska for tomorrow. But let's go ahead and jump in the forecast models here for Sunday. So here's the forecast models here for Sunday. And it's looking very interesting for Sunday. That's what I gotta say. Looking very interesting. So here's the 18Z on the FE3 model, which I use a lot. Here's the 12Z run. 12Z run does show supercells here breaking out across portions of central eastern Missouri all the way up into the Chicagoland area here and in northern Illinois. So these could all be rotating thunderstorms here on Sunday, extending all the way from basically the front and even ahead of the front. Isolated supercells across southwest Indiana will be very violent as well. But the FE3 model is painting a nasty picture for a ton of thunderstorms and activity, damaging winds, tornadoes mixed in mode as well. So Sunday's looking very interesting as well for tornadic supercells. So it just depends on where those isolated supercells out ahead of the cold front or your somewhat dry line trough ejection moving east. There's going to be so many initiation points for storms. So hopefully there's just not a ton of storms that all go up all at once, because it would create the bust scenario, because you have too much cloud cover spreading over into the warm sector, cutting instability, cutting sunlight. If it's a messy mode. Now, if we wake up on Sunday and there's pure sunlight in your area across Illinois, Indiana, you better be ready for some big time severe weather, because clear skies, cumulus field developing, that rich moisture, the 80 temperature spread across the area, that's all going to fuel thunderstorm development, and you only need 1 or 2 supercells to emit, and you're definitely going to have some violent long track tornado storm mode is what it's supposed to be. Here's your photographs here on the FE3 model. FE3 model is not good at this all the time. That's why I used a HER model or the NAM3KM. But you can see how I largely curve these photographs here across the whole entire warm sector. You got these big, large curves on these photographs, which indicate these will be beastly supercell thunderstorms if they take advantage of the environment. The low level wind shear, low level wind jet across the area is just ripping. So like I said, it's definitely looking increasing chances of seeing some tornadoes across Illinois into Indiana. So it's looking very interesting. You can see all these helicity stripes across portions of central northern Illinois as well. So it's going to be very interesting how this does play off, obviously. But there is definitely a good chance that someone's going to see some severe weather here on Sunday into the area. So I think the NAM3KM model is done updating for Sunday. Can we? Okay. NAM3KM model still showing some decent isolated supercells across southern Illinois. You got some southerly, southeasterly wind flow across the Chicagoland area into eastern Illinois, Indiana. Now, depending on how fast or slow the system moves, the slower the system moves, it'll be more of central, eastern, northeast Illinois storm threat starting off. But the NAM3KM model is showing that the system's just now getting going, which makes Indiana the main, threat for severe weather. So we'll see if the system's fast moving or slower moving, and I will determine a lot of different, scenarios and kind of depict where the worst is going to happen. But that dry line push right there, pushing up the southerly wind flow and those dew points and that moisture does give the signal for some decent storms. Look at the Cape values on the NAM3KM across portions of western Tennessee, western Kentucky, southern Illinois. That's big time. And here's your tornado probabilities here across southern Illinois, eastern Missouri, and western Kentucky. You got these very and largely curved photographs across the area. PDS Tour on the sounding. You got very weak cap, 2400 Cape, LCLs as low as 200 low. Very deep low-level wind shear, strong low-level jet ripping out of the south. That is just painting the picture for national disaster at this point. Like I said, storm mode means everything, and the NAM3 model is picking up on some isolated supercell development here, all the way from the Boot Hill, Missouri, into southern Illinois, and then going into southwest Indiana. So it's looking very interesting that, Sunday could be a significant severe weather day. So we have to watch out for Sunday. So more details, obviously, tomorrow when we get closer to the event. And then we have to also worry about Wednesday coming up as well. Wednesday, showing the signs of another event here coming in for severe weather on Wednesday. I think the models are all over the place jumping still, but the current models keep it south here. So it's going to do the same thing as the last system, keep bouncing back and forth between south and north. Yes, I will be doing updates on Sundays as we get closer to the event. So I just want to give you guys all these details, and I'll talk to you guys soon. I'll be on the road heading west to stream for tomorrow's severe weather threat in southeast Nebraska. So stay tuned, be alive, and see you guys soon.